Good morning, my people. You are welcome to today's broadcast. Today we are discussing constitutional review. I repeat, we are discussing constitutional amendment and review. The North is very angry with the current development. Northern politicians, Northern elite, Northern stakeholders, they are very angry with the current development. Mind you, there are two people that doesn't want Nigeria to be restructured. Two. We have Britain and we have the Fulanis. If Nigeria is restructured today, they will be at a disadvantage, the most disadvantage. Britain and Fulani. Note that we had a 1960 independence constitution and we reverted to 1963 Republican constitution. The 1960 independence constitution, the British used it to control us. It was still a colonial constitution, so we reverted to 1963, which is a Republican constitution that supports regional system of government. The patriots have been given a task to look at how we can restructure the country. They suggested the 2014 Confab report by Jonathan's government and the 1963 constitution. That is why Northern Nigeria is not happy with this current development. We need to understand what is going on. What is going on is serious, very serious. You see the ADC and you see how Northern politicians are flocking into the ADC to make sure that they do all they can. They are gaining momentum by the day. They want to do all they can to stop President Bola Ahmed Tinubu from reforming, reviewing, and restructuring Nigeria. See, each geopolitical zone have had their meeting. The Southwest had a meeting on this restructuring. They placed their demand on this constitutional review. The Southeast had their own meeting. Northern Nigeria had their own meeting. Now let's look at, also Nigerians have been talking about this review for a very long time. A very long time. Okay, there are so many demands from the 6 geopolitical zones involved in this constitutional amendment and demands. Okay, a group in Nigeria have been given the task to suggest reforms to the Nigerian constitution. Note, the goal is to restructure Nigeria. Northerners are not happy. The Fulanis also, they are not happy. But Nigeria must be restructured. No matter the kind of gang up these people have, no matter what they are trying to do. Because I'm seeing it from the lens of ADC. Let's remove Tinubu by all means. The Fulani have hijacked the ADC. If you look at the top players in the ADC, they are the Fulani, to make sure that they stop a Tinubu from restructuring. Now, the North also participated in this review of constitutional amendment. The North also got involved. And the North demanded for fiscal federalism. The North, I know why I started with Northern Nigeria. The North demanded for fiscal federalism, creation of more local governments, state police, and also states controlling their resources. I repeat, fiscal federalism, creation of more local governments, state police, and also states controlling their resources. Now, state police is going to handle the issue of insecurity. Now, resource control is going to handle development of regions and states. But the creation of more local governments, I don't know. I have not looked at that. Fiscal federalism also is good. Now, the North believe that there's so much power allocated to the center from their own review. So they need to share it with the states. But this is one thing I noticed. I believe the North is trying to sound sensible because it is a Tinubu's Southerner administration. Because now Tinubu government, let's follow everybody. Let's not be like the village. Let's do our own reforms. Maybe when we get to the house, we can reject it. You understand? Like they did with the tax bill. Okay, after they shouted, they just played along. They got to the house, they now had to reject so many sections. So they are playing along with this, their review. Okay, because it is a Southern. When Buhari got into power, APC campaigned with restructuring Nigeria. APC campaign, restructuring. It was even bold. The forefront of their campaign was restructuring. when Buhari got into power, there was a 2014 confab that Jonathan did for restructuring. APC, with the momentum, got into power. A Fulani man was handed over power and they jettisoned everything. Instead, it was Fulani crisis, left, right, center. They amplified the suffering. We got into recession, insecurity, started digging more foundations. Miet Yala became God, moving up and down, causing attacks, made everything, crushing nations that will have suggested restructuring. You see the attack on IPOB and the attack on Yoruba Nation. See, something beyond politics that we don't know. These guys don't. There was a video I watched in Plateau State. The Plateau governor went to that state that they killed more than 20 persons. It was a video. I watched it. The army commander was there. The citizens were there. The governor was in the middle. They started asking questions. From the interactions, the indigenes in front of the governor accused the army commander of aiding the bandits, the killers. The army commander could not say anything tangible. But when you come on social media, when they come on official, they say military we are attacking, we are destroying, we are decimating. While the real situation is that these people are enabling the Fulani. So restructuring Nigeria, state police in such a state like Plateau State will go a long way. Okay? So APC promised that they were going to restructure Nigeria. At the end of the day, they jettisoned it and they were pushing Fulani agenda. So I've said it that anything that has to do with, say, did they remove Fulani hand, did they destroy Fulani influence in Nigeria and restructure Nigeria, even though na APC they do them, I go join. Even though na ADC they do them, I go join. Genuinely, anything that has to do with restructuring and making Fulani's influence, because without us restructuring and amending the 1999 constitution, we cannot develop. You see, since when we don't use that constitution? Since 1999. There's no, it can't be like, say, military regime come better past civilian regime. That constitution is a deed of assignment that the Fulani is using to do anyhow they like in Nigeria. I'm telling you. So, whether they not like it or not, because I know it's going to be very difficult to convince some northern elements with all these postulations, recommendations. Some people will still go against it at the upper chamber when they are going to vote and speak on it. Benjamin Kalu is spearheading this, pushing for regions to have a get-together to talk about what they need, how to review the constitution. Everybody is now sounding well. But the reality is that this is a good start. That's why I said Sultana must be the one that will take over from Tinubu. A Sultana must complete his 8 years because this foundation work must be passed. The constitutional review amendment must be effected, especially for security, state police, and control of resources. These two things, very, very critical and important. If we have these two things, the hand of Fulani, the influence of Fulani, the grip of Fulani, if there are 5 fingers, they will have removed 2. Maybe their appointment in military, in immigration, Air Force and everything, or their appointment, blah, 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 might be there and in federal agencies. But when we have state police are restructuring most of their influence, for instance, now in Delta State, in Bayelsa State, River State, Southern Sokoto, you are owning resources DRB. Now because the federal government is having that exclusive powers to control those resources. If states control their resources, and if they define it, I know still government will have some control, but if they define it and the control the state has is enlarged, people like the Sultan, a Fulani person, will not be that influential. Some big men in northern Nigeria that have used Nigerian resources to empower themselves and place themselves at that elite cadre, they will not be so influential to disrupt states. If Bayelsa is utilizing what it has, my brother, a lot, if Delta State is utilizing what it has, if River State, Lagos State, state in southern Nigeria, like I said, southern Nigeria, now them they feed the whole country. If they utilize what they have, if Lagos State utilizes tax and they are investor friendly and they utilize their oil in the southwest, the southeast, their gas resources, their oil, their whatever they have, if they utilize it, regions will be blossoming. But this federal system of government whereby the center is too powerful and some people just hijack the center and be pushing different agenda. Buhari was president. He hijacked the center. They push Fulani agenda. Tinubu say, I will continue from where Buhari stopped. Tinubu enter. They push Yoruba agenda. And people are complaining. You are complaining that he's pushing Yoruba agenda. Why your Lord and personal savior, Mr. ADC, led by Fulani, your Lord and personal savior, push Fulani agenda, all of you kept quiet. You did as if you know Sabi talk again. So it is very interesting. The interesting time is that this constitutional review will be topical by the end of this year. And by next year, they will pass it. Listen very well. By next year, they will pass it. So in my Abia State, I don't care if I go back to Abia State or whatever it is. See, God gives us a lot of thinking capacity, a lot of things to do. It is when you are in a tight corner, you start using your brain to think of what you can do better. But when you are in a place whereby it seems everything is there, you don't. When you are in a place whereby your rights are guaranteed, you are recognized, you are not limited, and you have resources, there's nothing you cannot do. At least those that are not lazy and those that will use their sense, that are creative, that will use their brain to do better things. If they do resource control and this police, I'm not there for creation of creating more local government. I know say those on a political movement will be say you create more local government, use and collect money, and whatever it is. Now let's move. The Southwest demands almost the same thing. Almost all the regions were demanding the same level. The Southwest demands state police, resource control, new revenue sharing formula, constitutional recognition of local government, local council development authorities. You know, there are LG, local government, and LCDA. In Lagos, we have like, I think 57 to 21 local government, 57 LCDAs, and 21 local government. So they are saying constitutional recognition of these LCDAs as standard local government. Okay? Now, the governors in the Southwest, this is one important thing you need to note. They proposed that Section 44, Subsection 3 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, should remove control over mineral oils, natural gas, and from the exclusive list to the concurrent list, which means the control of government, of the executive government. We have the executive, we have the state, we have local government. So it should be taken away from the federal government and put in the concurrent list, which is the state, which is otherwise state control of their mineral resources. Amongst all the proposals, now the Southwest own me, they look forward to. Like they should just adopt that Southwest proposal. Then we can have a conversation on whether Nigeria will still maintain that parliamentary or 1963 or whatever, the 20 Confab report. We'll have a conversation. We'll sit down and say, okay, after we implement the amendment, I have the 1999 Constitution here. I have the 1999 Constitution with me here, and I've looked at it. My brother, that Constitution, if you are following the provisions, man, you'll be lost. A developed Nigeria, the people that crafted that, I told you that Sharia is in that Constitution. I told you. The exclusive list that the federal government is in control of, that's why a governor, they can remove a governor today, tomorrow. A governor will say, I'm just a supervisor. A chief security officer of the state will be helpless because of police is being controlled by the presidency. But when we have state police, the presidency will just be assisted. The state will go run their package themselves. So if any Fulani enter my state, I will not be, look at what happened in Jos. They will not be waiting for the army. They have their own people. If their people start to they kidnap them, they do all sorts. It is on them in that state. But any external influence will be abrogated. Because I told you, every region has their agenda. But the Fulani agenda na bad pass. I tell you. The Fulani agenda bad pass. And the second to Fulani agenda is the Southwest agenda. If you say Igbos have agenda, me, I'm an Igbo man. I understand Igbo fully well. We have so many flaws as Igbos. We have so many that we need to even correct in our lifetime. If not, it might destroy us. But Igbo coming to dominate you and take over your land just to colonize you is not true. You may not understand, maybe, because from where you're looking at. Look at Lagos State now. They changed some names of, in our Jeremy local government, they changed names of streets from Igbo, however, Igbo-looking names to Yoruba names, and some of them were Fulani names, or Hausa Muslim names. Did anybody fight them? What did it take them to change those names? It didn't take them anything much. Okay, they said that no more Igbo House of Rep, Lagos State Assembly member, no this, no councillor, no chairman, no Igbo councillor. What did it take them? How many? But can go to Ilorin and say you want to practice Isheshe. A video of what happened during the burial of Awujale. Yoruba Muslims were saying they don't want Isheshe traditionalists. They don't want them at all. And first, you are identified as a Yoruba. How do you know you're Yoruba? Through your tradition, not through your religion. Religion is, that Islamic religion is universal, does not have a culture, a tradition attached to the people. Like a Yoruba practicing a tradition is one. But an Arab can be a Muslim, an Igbo can be a Muslim. Not everybody can be Yoruba. So if you know the bigger problem is in Igbos, Fulani are the major problem with bringing that their religion and trying to use it to erase your culture through your back. You go there, open your eyes. Shebina so talky day with all the scientists, with all the professors, with all the autocrats, with all the technocrats, all of them. Wise men in Turkey, Islam entered, colonized them, turned them to Islamic country. Look at Afghanistan, look at Iran today. The regime of I don't know, I can't pronounce that name now, of their supreme leader. Islamic regime, the people, most people in Iran are Christians. There are even more Christians in Iran than Israel. What happened? Before their eyes, with their big English, with their school, with their degree, with their qualification and everything, with their revelations and everything. Now, Islamic regimes, so the Igbo man is not a threat to anybody. It's only you, maybe you see his competitiveness, his eagerness to succeed, to be smart, to acquire and everything. It is competition. The Nigerian government have seen the competitiveness of the Igbo man and they are willing to quench it. That is why everywhere it's like, stop this man from moving to the next level. The more reasons why all of us are saying we need to restructure Nigeria so that everybody, we have potential. We have so many things we can do. An Igbo man, fear Igbo man. No. Me too, the fear Igbo man. An Igbo man who is aware, who is educated, who has traveled out, who understands his culture. The intelligence, it be like gold mine. I tell you, it be like raw gold that you just put in fire and you are refining it. But Nigeria will destroy your destiny, will destroy your potential, will destroy you. That is why we say it is a must. This Southwest model is one thing I would like to pick. Let us use it to restructure Nigeria. Tinubu, listen to the Southwesterners. They have a very good model. Okay? But the Southeast, well, I've never been proud of Southeast leaders ever since. What the people, what we are saying is different from what they are saying. Other regions will be, even the northern part of the country, propose something better than the Southeast. Electoral reforms. full autonomy of local governments. I mean, even they add the resource control. When I talk about resource control now, women in government, that is what Mba and Co. they are doing. Maybe there's something we don't know that they're not telling us. But however, restructuring is it. Whoever that is not okay with the restructuring, just go and hawk transformer. I'm telling you. See, something will happen that will shock everybody. See, it's just like the more you look, the less you see. The more reasons why I'm pushing for a P2B to become the presidential candidacy of this the ADC is because I see the hand of the Fulani. I see the Fulani trying to hijack a movement in the guise of Tinubu has done this. We will not remember. We know they do church. We will go to the polls. We will do this and that. In the coming weeks, expect a lot of people to leave the APC and join the ADC. And I expect if it goes like that, we need to be sensible at this point in time. It is for survival. If you allow Fulani hijack this thing at this critical time, if you allow them, see, a foundation needs to be built on this restructuring, that it will be hard for the Fulani to uproot, to destroy that foundation when they have opportunity. If Nigeria never restructure by then, if Tinubu fall our hand, no restructure Nigeria, we must build a foundation of restructuring whereby the Fulani cannot be able to destroy it in 4 years. I'm telling you, this implementation, the way Tinubu is in control of the National Assembly, this implementation is important for us to be able to carry everybody along. If Tinubu, if there's a proposal now and it influences the National Assembly, that both the Senate and House of Rep, they will be able to pass something tangible. And it's a step in the right direction. So restructuring is it. I don't know. Now the patriots, they are working day and night. They are making sure that we come with a model. Like the way we left 1960 independence constitution and we entered a Republican constitution. That's the way we want to remove ourselves from the claws of the Fulani and British Nigeria. You may not understand it, but I know say you don't understand why we say Nigeria never better for how many years. There are things that are happening you don't understand. May God help Nigerians.